right into.
Hey everyone, this is Chris from Predator World Hunting. You are listening to the First Focal Plane podcast with Sean, Chris, and Rooster.
Oh! Haven't done this in a few weeks, eh?
Yeah, no kidding. Hello, everyone. Everyone. Oh, there's two now. Oh, now there's one again.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah.
Somebody stepped on and went, what the? No.
Yeah. Sean's on. I'm not watching that. Yeah.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the First Focal Plane episode 65. First Focal Plane podcast episode.
Yes.
I'm a real fireball today.
It's Sunday night, man. I don't blame you.
All right. Anybody out there want to help the show, please like our page and leave us a 5-star review wherever you listen to the pod. It'll help the show a lot, and we will read your review on the air, good or bad.
Yeah, and we've been getting, not necessarily shadow banned, but we've been pretty stagnant the last few weeks. Because it's social media and they don't want us to have a platform, right? The overlords at Facebook and Twitter and the YouTubes and such. So, guys, that's the only way you can help the show at this point. Is to just like us, leave a review and share it to everyone because this is awesome. But anyway.
All right.
Yeah, episode 65. We haven't been canceled yet. This is awesome. If I can find my mouse. There's my mouse. Anyway. So, as always, guys, we got to pay the bills here. So, Kurt's got a pretty nifty thing for me on precision rifles back there. But do you want to get into the precision rifle game? Do you hate the stock options that are out there? Why not hit up Shane at EM Precision Rifles and get a sweet Curtis Custom Action, International Barrels Tube, MDT chassis, whatever you want. Or you can go with the Howard Mini Action in 223-556, the JTAC Industries compact collapsible chassis with shorty barrel. Does that have a Riton optic on it, Kurt? Or is that yours?
This is a primary arms.
Oh, it's the primary? Yeah. So look at that.
Sweet little rig.
Toit. Short and toit. And
it is.
Drop a coyote like nobody's business. And is that one in 223?
It is, yeah.
Nice. Right on. And they also do 300 blackout, 76239. They got a bunch of options. So hit up Shane on Facebook, Instagram, and the website emprifles.ca.
Sure. All right, on to Bolt Action Coffee. Bolt Action Coffee is a Canadian veteran-owned and operated business. The Bolt Action Coffee team is passionate about long-range precision shooting and the pursuit of the world's best coffee. All the beans they procure and roast is specialty coffee, which makes up the top 2% of coffee in the world in any given harvest. Specialty coffee provides superior flavor to any other standard coffee on the market today and is truly a unique experience. If you like coffee, you'll love Bolt Action Coffee, a higher caliber coffee experience. Check them out at boltactioncoffee.com to order online or look for local retail stores selling in your area. I'm not sure.
They have a little, or not a little. They have a massive pre-order going on right now for November 11th for their 11th hour roast. So use our code, you get 10% off the best coffee going on. So. Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going here. We also brought to you by Callsign 66, where they believe that the progression of a shooter's capability goes hand in hand with his or her own personal philosophy in regards to perceived capability and the requirement for continued learning. Basically, if you can't shoot, show up and they'll make you a better shooter.
Yeah.
So
just be prepared to absorb a lot.
Yes, and be sore at the end of the day. Because that happens anyway. But to learn more about what Callsign 66 has to offer you, check them out at callsign66.ca. They don't have any winter courses going on at this point, but once they do, we'll start sharing them around the Facebooks and such. Anyway, that's Callsign. Should we do the last one?
Yes. The geniuses behind the Canuck line of firearms, Odell Engineering is your premium importer and distributor of some of Canada's top brands of firearms, including Bergera, Rock Island Armory, Mission First Tactical, Hyperfire, and of course the made for Canada Canuck firearms. Rely on Odell Engineering's expertise in the Canadian market to provide you the best quality in firearms and firearm accessories. Find their products and a dealer carrying said products at odellengineeringltd.com, on Facebook at Odell Engineering Limited, or walk into your local gun store and tell them Phil sent you.
That's right. That was the quickest intro ad reads we've ever done, I think.
Well, you know what? And we've had feedback on that it's people committing suicide because
drawn
it's,
out.
Yeah.
Oh well. But we got to pay the bills, right? So
that's right.
And we also appreciate the partnership. So anyway, well, you guys, we have a very, very special guest this week. We have Mr. Aaron Strauss, business owner of Cash Tactical in Regina, Saskatchewan. How's it going, Aaron?
Very good. Thank you very much for having me on.
No problem, and thanks for joining us at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. I know this is prime chilling out hours before the busy workday, but I'm glad you can make it, man. I appreciate it. We've been trying to get you on for a little while now, and we just couldn't make it work, and scheduling. You're a busy guy. I get it.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a very busy summer, so now that it's starting to move into fall, we're glad that we're able to make it work.
Right on. Cool. So why don't we start by you telling us about, Cash Tactical and how it got started?
Okay. Well, we opened up our doors actually back in 2017 here in Regina, Saskatchewan. The whole focus behind the store at the beginning was there was a need that we seen in the Regina market for more advanced first aid supplies, med kits, that type of thing. We felt there was a fairly significant void in the market, and we opened with the focus of doing medical supplies, first aid kits, as well as law enforcement and first responder uniforms and that type of product lines. And so that was sort of the basis of why Cash Tactical got started. I got my keys to the building in March. We spent some time doing renovations and opened up in July of 2017. And interestingly, while we still do have the medical supplies and all that type of gear as part of our business, it's become the smallest part of the business because it was actually the local Airsoft community that started pouring in and supporting us as soon as we opened up in July of 2017. And Airsoft wasn't even actually on my radar as being as big of a market as it is. And so discussions with local players and enthusiasts, we started bringing in products, and we went from early beginnings where we had a 4x8 sheet of slat wall, and that filled all of the Airsoft products that
I remember those days. Yeah, I remember those days. There was like two shell, or like there was the wall shelves, and then the middle shelves, and then the slat wall in the back. And that was it. It was crazy. Yeah.
And the whole main floor of the front end of the store was mostly medical supplies with a little bit of Airsoft in behind. But more and more, the community came in and supported us. We had discussions. Well, what do you guys need? That type of thing. So we started moving into plate carriers, ammo pouches, apparel, boots, all that type of product. And it just became a natural progression that we kept on moving in that direction. We pretty soon expanded to where I started with that 1 4x8 sheet. Well, then we had 2 walls full of Airsoft in our front showroom. And that was good, but we were soon bursting at the seams again. So progressed past all the pandemic closure and all that type of thing. We were actually having a lot of demand for it, so we started doing an expansion, because the building I have is it's a 6,000 square foot building. Most of it was warehouse, and we had about 1,500 of it as a retail floor. So we went and did a major expansion over last winter, and opened up on our grand opening was February 18th this year. And so from the humble beginnings in Airsoft to on our grand opening, we had over 100 different models of Airsoft on the wall. And a lot of people, when they think of Airsoft, they just think, oh, this cheap little plastic toy. No, not the stuff I have on my wall. Like, we got they're real weight. They're almost identical to a real firearm, like sort of 9/10 replicas, and they operate the same way. The safeties work the same way. Everything is identical, and they're an incredibly good product.
Well, and to attest to that, I was in the other week and I was playing with a couple of the HK, the HK MR308, and then I think there was an HK 416 copy or replica that I was handling, and it was the course, or the manual of arms was the same, and it felt extremely like a real rifle. It really did. There was some heft to it. I never actually went to the range and shot them, because you guys have a range there, an airsoft range as well, right?
Yeah, we do have a range in store where you can do just target practice, but we do have also electronic targeting system that the targets stand up, sit down, all that type of thing. And some of these airsoft guns there's so much realism to them, they've actually got a piston that you get recoil out of them. So they are an actual excellent training tool, and much cheaper to shoot than expending real ammunition. So there, a lot of law enforcement agencies I know in the U.S. and in Canada do use airsoft as a training tool, because so much is the same that you can get a lot of your work done with airsoft. And so, but I did mention the February 18th was our grand opening, and February 16th, if you'll remember, is C21 came down.
Yep.
And so our lovely federal government decided that the best way to stop the gang violence in Toronto is by banning toy guns. And it makes as much sense as banning Tonka trucks to eliminate drunk drivers. And even though it wasn't the main reason for C21, they needed to put their legislative framework around their gun grab order and council. There was this little line in there that inserted airsoft into the legislation, and also changed the definition of what a replica firearm is, so that it effectively would ban the entire industry overnight if it would be passed. And so this was quite a frustrating situation that we had to face, especially having just gone through and done a major expansion. And luckily, we aren't solely an airsoft store. That is a major part of our business, but we do have other avenues as well. There are lots of companies across the country here that airsoft's 100% of their business. So when this comes back in the fall sitting here, I'm assuming the assumption is that they're going to reintroduce some sort of legislation. If airsoft is in the targets, that literally could shut down a lot of very good businesses across this country. So
absolutely. It's just troubling that they go to measures like what you're saying.
So
guys,
it's a bit of an irony, though, because Trudeau doesn't want firearms, and we, having had airsoft and come under the target, one of the things that I really wanted to do was diversify the business so that we didn't have our eggs all in one basket. So that has moved us into the real firearms market. And it's taken a while. It took from the early March, when our application was actually in. We finally got our firearms license in July, and so we've gone from being a very big airsoft store to now having a full lineup of firearms and ammunition. So it's kind of contrary to I think Trudeau's intention when he when he added airsoft to C-21.
Well, that's right. You either diversify or you die, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly. Because Regina is a small community, and we are a niche business, but we still can thrive by offering our services to more than one niche
right.
in the marketplace.
Yeah, and you were saying how you started off as a medical supply store and going from there, but you had airsofters coming in and telling you what they wanted wanted to give you money for, and you just went out and got it for them. And I venture to say that's sort of minus the C-21 and Trudeau aspect, but I venture to say that's what why you brought in firearms as well, is so guys were coming in saying, I wish you sold guns, or I wish you sold ammo, or I wish you sold reloading components or whatever, and you just said
absolutely.
Okay.
We've had that for multiple years here, saying, we wish you would go into firearms. We would like to support you, that type of thing. And so it was kind of a no-brainer that, adding firearms to the business mix was part of the natural progression of the business. It just was significantly sped up due to the C-21 being brought in, and we needed to make sure that we as a business would be able to survive in the marketplace.
Right on. Okay. So speaking of firearms, what sort of lines are you carrying, just so that the listener group can know and maybe go on your website and buy?
Yeah. Well, and speaking of the website, we do have some firearms on our website, but we don't have our full listing on there. We've gotten so much new product into the store in the last few weeks that we're a little bit behind in being able to get everything on there. But as in the days and weeks to come, they will all fully be on our site. But as far as what we are carrying, we've got Ruger, Weatherby, Savage Arms. I've got the WK-180s, the Kodiak Defense, SKS's Night muzzle loaders. We've got some Yildiz shotguns, Weatherby shotguns, and on the restricted side, CZ Shadows. We've got a line of Canik pistols. Yep. Smith & Wesson, we've got revolvers, 1911s. So the selection is growing almost on a weekly basis as we get more and more product availability to us.
Well, and it kind of took me aside where when I walked in, and I was expecting the Savages and the hunting rifles and the hunting stuff, which is awesome. Every store needs that. But then I look down and I see that what was that 1911, that high-end 1911 that's in the box there.
There's a laser engraved Smith & Wesson 1911. Yeah, it comes with a custom wooden box. It's a beautiful gun.
On top of the full selection of the Canik TP9 series, you have everything from the entry-level kits to the go fast or die race guns that Canik offers, and they're a great platform themselves, in my humble opinion. Yeah,
they are very nice, and they're also fairly budget friendly too. So you're getting a lot of value for the price point with the Canik pistols.
Yeah, and friend of the show, Matt Shirley, he works with you at Cash, and he was kind of showing me. He's like, "Hey, did you know all these kits are range kits? They come with a holster and mag pouches." And like, no way,
really.
I didn't know that. Yeah. And they're very relatively well priced. Like I think a standard, like the flat dark earth model, the TP9, what's the MSRP on that? $649 or something, I think. I would assume it's somewhere between $650 and $750. Yeah.
Uh, we've added so many products lately, just to remember all the MSRPs on the top of my head is hard. But
No kidding.
yeah, they are very competitively priced for sure. And I mean, the more selection you have, the more likelihood that
That's right.
somebody's going to find something that they just can't leave the store without, too.
That's right. You know, and like, especially like when I first started shooting IPSC, I'm like, what pistol do I need? What pistol should I get? Okay. The only real option for an entry level was either a Glock 17 or a Smith M&P 9. And I went with the Smith & Wesson M&P 9 because it came with the range kit. That was the only reason. And now there's so many different options on top of those, like the Canic, and now you can support local instead of going into Cabela's or whatever. You know, you got a business owner like yourself that can help the community out with that. That's huge, man. I appreciate that 100%. So
yeah, for sure. And so many people come into us and say they want an option that's different than Cabela's, that even if Cabela's has the same product, they will support preferentially a small business, just because the small business supports the community and supports people within the industry much more so than a big box American that's exporting all the money out of the country. So
absolutely.
Agreed.
Right. Well, we had a question come in on the Facebook. Friend of the show, Mike Heineck, says, what do those electronic airsoft targets run? I'd be interested in those.
I can, I believe they're around 2,500 for the targeting system that I have in the store. What it has is it's a multiple game option, so you can. It stands up, sits down. You can have whack-a-mole. You can have a hostage terrorist where it lights up with a green light or a red light, and you're only allowed to shoot one or the other. You get discounts, points discounted. It comes with a full LED light display showing points and that type of thing. It is a fairly high-end system. It works for us because of the fact that we are running a range. It might be a little on the high end for someone at a home user, but
the basement
if somebody
range.
does, if somebody wants it, we certainly can special order that in for anybody.
There you go, Mike. Cool. You got your answer. That would be sweet, because I know of a lot of my friends that have set up like BB gun ranges in their basement, and this is the next obviously logical step to me, is to do like threat assessment and stuff and going through it red and green and points deduction, and that would be sweet. But
well, and when there's also skill level on it on a 1 to 10 scale, and when you put it to a 10, like those targets are sitting down almost as fast as they're standing up. Like you can get it to be incredible high skill level using that targeting system.
Well, and even just getting to use your, you were talking earlier about how airsoft is a valid option for training. I would argue with that yes, to a point, but there's nothing like the real thing, in my opinion, right? And but at the same time, for guys just getting started, to learn how to use those 3-dot sights on a pistol or even a rifle, or how to use iron sights properly, airsoft is the ticket. It's the way
absolutely.
to go.
You definitely can't completely replace your pistol with an airsoft gun, but
no.
For loading drills, targeting, that type of thing, it is a great place to start and get used to your gun. Yep. And the airsoft replicas, like I said, the safeties work the same. Everything is working the same. The weight is 3/4 or more of the weight of the real comparison. So it's it isn't definitely a great place to start. It's also great for teaching youth for safety and getting kids started into the sport shooting world.
Yeah, absolutely. but or even so, looking at it from a competition standpoint, you get guys that transition from iron sights and pistol to red dot, and the first thing they see, or you see, is that pistol. They're going like this on the line after the draw because they can't find the dot. Well, if you had an airsoft replica of the same gun with the same optic, essentially, you put it on and you do a couple dry fire rounds in your basement, you'll be getting that no problem, right? I think, but
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, right on. So we've talked about airsoft, we talked about guns. What are the soft lines that you carry?
Well, we are a 511 tactical dealer. We're authorized direct dealer with them. That is a big line for us because I had mentioned earlier about law enforcement and first responder uniforms.
Yep.
And so we can supply boots, pants, and apparel for the first responder market. One of our biggest things, given that we're in Regina and the RCMP training academy is here, we do offer striped RCMP pants directly to RCMP members. So we do often see a lot of new cadets that are newly graduated cadets making a stop at Cash Tactical before they head out to their first post.
Wow.
Yeah. We also deal in camping goods. We've got tents like MSR tents. We have smokers. We're a Bradley smoker dealer. We got a full lineup of knives. We got rake knives. Kershaw. We're buck knife dealer. There's a large selection of knives in the store.
Yeah. What kind of threw me back when I saw it as well was Crimson Trace has a line of optics.
Yeah, and I've been very impressed with the Crimson Trace optics that come in there. They're essentially a Nikon optic. Very good quality,
right?
Yep. Yeah, and I definitely have been pleased with what I've seen so far, and as well as the customers that we've sold them to have been very, very happy with the product when they've taken it home.
Nice. So does the Crimson Trace carry the same warranty as Nikon did?
Yes, it does. It does carry the full warranty. It's basically it's Nikon glass in there, so it's very good quality. I definitely would put it on my own firearm without any qualms. That's for sure.
Yeah, no kidding. And I run a lot of high end stuff on my guns right now. Not saying Crimson Trace isn't, but it's kind of that lower to medium range price point, and they do have higher price point options as well. But when I first started, again, going back to my experience with 3Gun and IPSC and Ontario Rifle Association CQB shoots, I wanted a 1:4 optic where I didn't have to break the bank, and I was looking at the Nikon optics, and then I heard, Nikon's going tits up. What's going to happen now? So I didn't, and I went with the Vortex option. But if Nikon rebranded sooner to Crimson Trace, I would say I'd have a Crimson Trace 1:4. But
no, they're very good, and I mean we still carry because Nikon only got out of the rifle scope market. They still are in the binoculars, the range finders, that type of thing. So we carry Nikon in those products in the store, but it's a very good option with all the Crimson Trace.
Absolutely. No, right on. So what lies ahead here for Cash Tactical?
Well, if you were in the store the other day, you probably seen we're bursting at the seams. It's a kind of a constant rejigging the store to fit more stuff in. We're bringing in a lot of reloading components as there's a bit of an issue with the market availability, of course, but as stuff becomes available, we're bringing a lot of product that way in. But we're definitely trying to add a lot more of the firearms accessories. we're hoping to expand our knife lineup as well, including into the like. Well, I guess I shouldn't name brands until I've got deals done. But I'm trying to bring in some new brands of firearms. Of knives into the knife showcase.
Nice.
We also are bringing in Belleville Boots.
Okay.
That's American-made boot company. We're going to be, as far as we know, the first Canadian retailer carrying Belleville Boots. And we should be receiving our first order within a few weeks. And so that's another expansion, getting more product on the shelves and more stuff that's targeted towards the professional user.
Yeah.
We like to carry higher quality products in our store. Any place can bring in the really cheap stuff. We want to separate ourselves as we're carrying high quality products that we can stand behind. So,
absolutely. No, and like you said, you have product coming out the wazoo, and I walked in there, it was everywhere, but it was organized. It looked really nice and really good, and when I right by the gun counter, I kind of turned around, I'm like, there's Hornady bullets here, and I pull up my phone and I text Kurt and the guys,
Right.
and I'm like, hey, there's 168 grain AMAXs here.
How are you finding that? Trying to get that kind of stuff. That's got to be tough.
That is tough. And like primers, there's no primers to be found in the supply chain. It's basically, if you get lucky enough to go onto the supplier's website and they just got an order that day, you kind of are getting stuff. I'm also doing placing orders so that I can get onto back order lists. That's, I've got a significant number of back orders in place so that when supply becomes available, that we can get it. But I mean, it is a challenge at this point because there is just so limited availability of so many things. Various calibers of ammunition are almost impossible to get. I mean, we've lucky enough to have some good relationships with some our distributors that they let us do pre-orders in advance of before we had licensing in place, but without any delivery until we got the licensing in place. So that allowed us to get product on the shelf so that we had a relatively full shelf as soon as we started. But any Magnum caliber of ammunition is almost impossible to find. We've got reasonably good selection of the more common stuff, but there's very limited in the supply chain if you're trying to get something that's not quite mainstream. So.
All the manufacturers are just churning out strictly 308 and 223 now, probably.
Yeah, well, they got it
almost.
When there's limited supply, they basically got to go for their best sellers, so that I mean, it makes sense from their standpoint as well. So
thank you, Democrats.
Yeah, exactly. Driving up the fear, and that's what it is. Like that's even we're seeing it. Like I work in ag manufacturing, and I'm seeing it in ag. Like electrical components are the same way. Nobody can find a chip for your life to depend on it, or even a wiring harness at that point. So
well, crazy. And shipping has been a big issue as well. In container shipping from overseas. Where prices have quadrupled or more to try to bring any product, even if it's just a component product. So that is putting significant pressures into the system as well. So you throw that plus manufacturing shutdown due to COVID, plus a Democrat president, it's kind of the perfect storm. That's
plus Captain Sparkle socks raising inflation to a 20-year high, and we have a perfect storm.
Well, yeah, there's and I think we've only seen the start of the inflation, unfortunately. With the amount of money that was printed within the last 18 months, from what I've been told is that compared to other major countries, Canada took a significant higher percentage of money printing versus taking on debt. And that's, as that works its way through the system, we are going to be seeing prices go significantly up. And I mean, I've seen posts online of people doing screenshots of, hey, look, I was at Cabela's or Canadian Tire and look at the price of this ammunition. And 5 years from now, we're probably going to look at that and say, hey, I don't remember ammunition being
those
cheap,
days,
which is unfortunate because it's I don't
remember
think
when you could buy factory 303 British for less than $100 a box. Remember that? Oh, unreal.
That's something.
Unreal. So
I managed to get sick. I had ordered more than that, of course, but they shipped me 6 individual boxes of 303 British the other day. And we're starting to see that is you're ordering it by the case and getting a single box sent to you, because that's all that's left in the supply chain.
Wow.
So how can it get better? Like, I don't see how the supply chain woes, like, you're getting into reloading components, like you said, like powder is, especially the popular stuff, you can't find it. So like how is this, do you see any way out? Like, how can this get better?
I mean, it's got to, I think the pandemic affecting issues has got to get better. So because we got to get past the 4th wave, and then there's got to be significant time thereafter. Because even if the production facilities are running full bore, they've got enough orders for the next 3 years already. So it's basically patience and time is going to get us past it, is really what I think. But hopefully people have patience, but as we can see running further and further into the pandemic, I think nerves are wearing thin for what we've been exposed to over the last 18 months. So
absolutely.
Hopefully it gets better, that's for sure.
Well, you can hope, but for guys that are in like the prepper community, they're if you didn't step up and get your buying done before this happened, you're up shit creek. Like it's
and I don't know who out there would be how do you say, fully stocked. Like anybody that's satisfied with what they have in their personal stores right now. I don't know that there would be anybody, because listen, most of us that do like to stock up also like to play the games, which includes expending ammunition, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you keep that balance now? I've been thinking about this lots lately. The amount of shooting I plan to do next year. I don't know how wise that is.
Well, yeah.
Well, and even things like MREs. You mentioned the prepper community. When this all started back in March of 2020, I honestly hadn't even heard of COVID-19 yet. And I started getting web orders on my website selling masks. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And within 3 days, every single box of masks that I had was sold out. Well, then all of a sudden it's this COVID-19 is in the news, and you start realizing why people who maybe they had relatives in Asia and knew about it a little bit more in advance, they started ordering all this. MREs was the other thing. I had several cases of MREs before the pandemic they sold just in the snap of a fingers. And I have not been able to get MREs back in stock until about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And I've got a selection of MREs now, but when they're gone, I'm not exactly sure when the next time is going to be, because it's not a steady supply stream for them. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to restock once the number of cases that I have are gone.
And you also stock Happy Act dehydrated meals as well, correct?
We've switched over to Peak Refuel, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do have a stock of those in store, and that I have no problem getting in stock. There's good supply in that. The only difference being is you do need a cooking appliance for those versus an MRE, which comes with the flameless ration heaters. So, but they're a very good product as well, and great to put into storage, because they got several years of lifespan too. That allows you to be prepared. If there is another run on the grocery store side of things.
Yeah.
Are you stocking toilet paper?
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
That might not be a bad investment right now, Aaron.
Trade rolls of toilet paper for ammunition.
Right. Yeah. Cigarettes for other things.
Yeah. Hey, you got any more of that toilet paper there?
Yeah.
Oh man. Geez.
Well, actually, back at the once again back to the beginning of the pandemic, I have a friend that I went to university with that he actually lives in Australia, and he posts this picture once again before I had heard of COVID-19, and he posts this picture of a package of toilet paper, and he's got it seat belted into his car, saying that it's precious cargo. And I had to message him and say, what the heck's going on? And they were already doing the panic buying down there, and they were about a week or 10 days ahead of the panic buying that started here. So it was it's the stuff that we've had to endure over the last year and a half. You probably couldn't have written it up in fiction.
No. It makes me wonder what happened to all those people who bought 30,000 cans of Lysol and 100,000 rolls of toilet paper, like just on a whim. They weren't necessarily preppers. They were just trying to take advantage, or they saw something going on. Are they stuck with a garage full of shit tickets, or are they?
I hope so.
I know, me too.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case, because it's never good when somebody takes advantage of a situation.
No,
that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, right on.
Yeah.
So we talked about the C21. So are you looking to get more into the restricteds? I know you had more. You're bringing in pistols and such, but are you more looking to bring in other lines like how can I explain it, like the Berger and Thomas, or any of those, or anything that's kind of on the cusp? You said you had the WK 180s, and I saw you had one SKS left in stock.
Yeah, got one SKS left. Speaking of inflation, haven't they ever gone up in price? It's unbelievable. Thinking back a few years, a person should have bought a few for the garage.
Well, you know what? And I don't know how many times this thought has crossed my mind that back in the day when you could buy them for like $180 a piece or something like that, and it came with a bunch of ammunition, and I scoffed at it, and I went, "Who wants one of those pieces of shit?" And you know what? You go to any range, and there's steel 7.62 by 39 cases spewed everywhere, and I my opinion was they were the scourge of every range out there, and now I'm thinking, God damn it, man! You should have just parted with a little bit of fucking money and got them.
Yeah, and now you could turn around and sell them for a big profit over Yeah, because they're running around that $500 mark.
Is that right?
Scotty, still
It
a
is.
piece of
I don't
shit.
disagree.
It is, but
Hey, you know what? It'll go bang. And
It's
in some circumstances, yeah,
it's a good companion where otherwise you might have none
Yeah,
that's right.
in some situations, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
But
so-
do you have any plans of bringing any semi-autos in or anything like that outside of what you got already?
I mean, we're always looking at expanding. I don't have anything specific on order, but we are always looking at building the lineup so that we do have more availability. So once again, it goes back to that supply chain, and yeah, you'd love to have everything and right now, but it does take a fair bit of time at this point in time to be able to access stuff, because a lot of it is going to be on pre-orders and future dated orders to be able to get in the lineup for the production that's available.
Those have to be some tough decisions too. I suppose every once in a while, when you're thinking about things like that, especially because you don't know where these laws are going to go with.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
and
do I dive into this and hopefully enjoy the sales till that shit hits the fan, or do I just back away from it, try and find something else to stock the shelves with, or what? That's
well, and I mean that's
a risk.
That's a risk, but it's also, I guess, part of running a business. I know there's definitely products that I've ordered in the past, not necessarily firearms related, but that I thought this thing was going to sell really well.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 years later, you finally sell the last one, and you've never restocked it. So it's some things that you think is going to be a hit is definitely a miss, and
like the ShamWow.
So you almost have to have a glass
crystal ball.
Crystal ball, thank you.
There you go. A glass sphere that tells the future.
It was on the tip of the tongue, but I just couldn't come up with it.
You receive no judgment from me, I'll tell you.
We had another question come in on the Facebook. Are you still shipping ammo? Mr. Kopak wants to know.
So with the ammo shipping situation in Canada right now, we're not shipping ammo. It's available in store for local pickup only. We hopefully will be able to start shipping ammo soon, but right now it's in store only. We are shipping firearms though.
Okay.
So where was that going? I thought I had heard something that a little while ago, probably 4 weeks ago, something like that, that Canada Post was actually considering shipping ammo or something, or there was somebody that stepped up that was possibly going to.
I believe there was discussions.
Okay.
As far as I know, Canada Post has turned down ammunition, but I mean, I'm obviously not involved with that. Yeah. I believe that they don't want ammunition because of the fact that they have air transport as part of their delivery system. And so it's difficult to differentiate, if the package isn't marked as being a dangerous good, it could potentially get onto an airplane, which could lead to an unsafe situation. So I can understand it from their perspective. As of right now, ammunition can only be delivered by anything that's served by a UPS brown truck. So if you're outside of an area that is serviced by UPS, you got a difficult
get it in your truck
way to get it. So you need to then have it delivered to a depot and go drive for it or whatever. But so like I said, as of right now, it's only being delivered by UPS. So that's why we're we didn't have given that we're brand new, our firearms license was issued, I think, July 27th. So up until this point, we haven't had a UPS ammunition shipping account, which is a separate account from an ordinary shipping account.
Right.
And so, given the limitations of the quantity of ammunition that we have available, we've just made the decision to have it available in store only for the time being.
Yeah, most logical, I guess.
Holy shit!
Look at this.
Polar nights. Good morning from North Norway. Well, good evening, sir. Cheers to you. He actually said earlier, he says, sweet Jesus, it's the perfect evolution of beards. He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Well, good to have you here, man.
Yeah, thanks,
Right
man.
on.
Anyway, well, right on. So I think we covered all of the cash stuff. Did you have anything you wanted to add, Aaron? Or
I think that covers it pretty good. It's been an interesting ride, starting a business right from scratch and building it up, and it always interests me when I get a web sale that goes to Quebec or goes to BC, or I had one come in this evening going down to Michigan, and it's interesting, starting a business from scratch, that there's people all over the world is finding out about my passion for what I've been trying to build here and grow in Little Regina.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's been a very
awesome
interesting place.
Yeah, and it's good to see something like that start here in grassroots in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. And then hopefully you can expand nationwide. Hopefully you'll get there. But it's good to see you're fighting the good fight. How hard was it to get a firearm business license for the city of Regina? That's one question I have.
Actually, not difficult. There was, as long as you're filling all the forms right, and we did a significant amount of work when I did my expansion for the airsoft side. We had the firearms in the back of our minds, so all the requirements that go into a firearms license were all built into our expansion. So we had the plan in place. It just, like I said, it was accelerated because of C21, but we knew what the requirements were ahead of time, and we made sure that we met them all prior to even applying for the license. So it actually was a fairly smooth process.
Oh wow!
Insurance, on the other hand, is a bit of a bitch, isn't it?
It can be, yes.
Yeah.
Well, if you're looking for insurance, I'm sure this guy here, Zach Schwingen Schwagel, he does sell business insurance to fire.
Zach swing low.
Zach,
Oh yes.
Zach sling slightly to the left. Yeah.
There you go. Hooked up.
Right on.
I do have a couple of questions about your airsoft there. I was just looking. First of all, what is green gas?
Green gas is propane with a silicone lubricant mixed in it. So a lot of the pistols are powered by green gas as the propellant, as well as some of the high-end rifles are using green gas rather than battery operated. You can just use propane. We do have, you have propane adapters that you can use. You just then have to
drag your tank along with you
yourself.
Yeah. And like looking at the pistols and that.
The amount of times Kurt's been told to lubricate himself is
yeah, with a few other expletives. Yes. Looking at the pistols and that, just looking at one in particular, like I have a Smith & Wesson M&P, and it's just thinking about training in that with an airsoft. It says it comes with one magazine. What's it like getting other magazines and other accessories and that for that stuff?
We try our best for most of the pistols that we carry to stock extra magazines. We usually can get them in. Certain models is a little bit more difficult, but I do have a number of avenues to be able to get the extra accessories. So it hasn't been too bad for the most part on the airsoft side of things.
Okay.
Now, are those full magazines, or are they just those thin ones that hold the BBs that you put into the mag?
No, depending on the pistol, of course, they either are a magazine that'll hold the CO2 cartridge, or they will have a gas well in them, and the gas well is for your green gas, and then it holds your BBs as well. So most of the magazines are anywhere from 14 to 24 round magazines, depending on the model. And then, of course, you can get extended mags and upwards of 55 rounds for certain pistols, like the G&G Armament Berettas. The extended magazine is a 55 round magazine.
Right on.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so more specifically to the M&P platform, Smith & Wesson M&P, like I've got a cheap Princess Auto copy that just comes with that thin mag that goes in front of the gas cylinder. Is that kind of the magazines we're talking about, or you were talking about the ones that had the integrated CO2 canister and then the gas well with the green gas, right?
Yeah. So no, it wouldn't be what you're talking about. It'll be all in one. The magazine is going to be very similar to the real platform in terms of size. The ones that you're talking about are probably going to be a plastic bodied gun. A lot of the airsoft replicas are full metal.
Yeah.
And that, what we're carrying versus a place like Princess Auto or whatever, our worst is better than their top end. Not that it's complete garbage. It does work for its purpose, but it's very, very entry level in the big box stores versus where we're trying to bring in stuff that we can stand behind, that parts are available, and we do have a tech in-house who has I believe close to 17 years of airsoft experience and is very knowledgeable about repairing and bringing guns back to life that have issues with them. So
nice. Yeah, Jordan's a hell of a guy. So right on.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So and you also do custom, like if somebody wants to build a first aid kit, pardon me, you can go and show them exactly what to get in individual pieces, right?
Yeah, we have bags and kits available. We've got some preloaded ones, but we've also got all the individual supplies that you can build your kit with. If you're wanting an IFAC for going out hunting, we do carry stuff like Sea-Locks. We carry Cheetah Sam gauze. We carry Gen 7 cat tourniquets. Gear that you just couldn't go down to the pharmacy and buy.
Yeah.
This is, we stock it on a regular basis, and we do move a fair bit of that product. We also do stop the bleed courses so that you can learn how to use this equipment if you don't have other medical training. And that's in addition to we do a lot of PAL and RPAL classes. We've got a classroom right in the building, and so that's a regular thing for us is teaching the PAL and the RPAL. So it all kind of fits in as a natural progression.
Yeah.
We can get the people getting the love for the shooting sport with the airsoft. Then we can get them licensed, and then we can sell them their first real firearm.
Yeah.
Turnkey solution, one-stop shop.
Exactly.
And what I've been trying to push though is from the day you started to various gun clubs throughout the world and everywhere I go, there's a severe lack of trauma kits at firearm ranges like wildlife federations or even Joe Blow's shooting range Rooster. Like it's stuff that that is definitely needed, because you never know you need it until you don't have it.
I was just going to say, Sean, that this has crossed my mind way too many times. and I've done nothing about it, is get a first aid kit, at least in my truck. You know, I have duct tape and scissors.
Duct tape, scissors, and a roll of shop towel. Yeah,
right. That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And
We hear that all the time coming into the store, that hey, we had an emergency in the warehouse last week and somebody cut themselves and we had trouble stopping the bleed, that type of thing. They went to the first aid kit and there was nothing in there.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I mean,
no kidding.
You don't think you need it until after you need it, and then you realize it's too late.
Yeah.
So it's a great idea to come and stock your kits, you know, when you are heading out into the bush. There, and I mean, we stock more than just the medical side of things. We got signal flares, we got smoke grenades, which the airsofters love using smoke grenades.
Yeah.
But it's a great thing to throw into your backpack when you go hunting, because you break your leg out in the forest and search and rescue is looking for you. You pop a pink smoke grenade. There's nothing in nature that is billowing pink, that they'll see exactly where you are.
Sure,
It's
a lot of
great idea
leftists
to
will
carry.
disagree with you on that. Sorry. Oh, right on. But yeah, like you've carried the smoke grenade since you started. I thought that was always cool to have.
Yeah, that was one of the first things we brought in, and we're carrying the full line of Enola Gay smoke grenades, right from the little 6,000 cubic foot grenades all the way up to ones that burn for 3 minutes and put out 100,000 cubic feet of smoke.
Mm.
Wouldn't that be something at the next King of 2 Miles? Grab one of those 100,000 cubic pink ones and throw it into Shane's camper.
It will dye the inside fabric. The fabric would be permanently pink.
Oh, wow.
He'd enjoy that.
Oh, that's funny.
That's crazy. Well, right on. But, you know, I see a lot of comments about first aid kits. You know, I'm more specifically talking about trauma. You know, guys that don't know how to pack a wound, a gaping wound. You know, guys that don't know how to properly use their tourniquets. They might have one in their bag, but, you know, guys that don't know how to use them. And you offer those courses in-house on top of selling the products, right?
Yeah, because what good is the product if you don't know how to use it?
That's right.
I mean, just something simple. A tourniquet, if it's used properly, is excruciatingly painful.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't realize that that's the case. But you need to have that thing on so tight that it cuts the bleeding off. And if it's not painful, it's not cutting the bleeding off.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and you know, these are things that could save your life. You know, even if you're just heading through the bush and trip and you know, impale your leg on a stick, it happens, and there's been people that have lost their life to it. So,
Doug's going back to packing his own gunshot wounds.
Using some powder out of the cartridge and a tampon.
Yeah. A little bit of Copenhagen in there just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
It sterilizes.
That's the disinfectant. Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, Chris, how many times have you been trucking through the brush, even in northern Saskatchewan, and you get your ankle caught just the weirdest way in between two logs or something, and all it takes is you to just put your weight needed to shift a little bit more, and you might have a compound fracture.
Yeah.
In the middle of the bush.
Absolutely.
Like,
Without
years ago, when I was still at home on the farm, I slipped off of the step of a tractor. You only fell down 2 feet. And my right ankle to this day does not have the mobility that it used to have, because I tore both ligaments in that ankle from a 2-foot fall. You know.
Yeah, I tore the quad tendon straight off my knee, like 100% separated, going down steps. I mean, there was more involved in that, but that compression when I came back down, when I tripped. Tore that right off, and the same thing could happen, like Sean says, out in the bush or whatever.
Yeah, and if you're a 3-hour hike from your truck, you've got
that's a long fucking day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
or like thinking of even the farm application. I work in ag. A
Yeah.
good friend of mine
Yeah.
fell off his combine and had 17 pins put into his arm.
Ooh.
17, just because he fell 6 feet off the ladder of a combine. Right? It's unreal. So,
I think a lot of the what do you say, excuse behind my not having a whole lot medical in my possession is I'm a how do you say, a natural selection guy. If it's my time, it's my time, and I'm all right with that. So, I hope the Bears get to me before the Ravens do, because my eyes are gone then if the Ravens get to me first.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I more or less ashamedly, I don't have much medical stuff, and I've thought about it lots and just haven't pulled the trigger and gone to get it. It's stupid. It truly is stupid. Especially like with stuff that we
should
do.
have with you all the time.
Yep, absolutely. Even something as simple as splitting wood at the campground. Yeah. Like there's, we've all heard stories of somebody getting an axe in the shin or the foot or some stupid thing. And what do? Take off your shirt and wrap it.
I have a big scar on my foot from some stupidity when I was a child. My mom gave me a butcher knife to go get rhubarb from the garden. Well, what does a 7-year-old do with a butcher knife and rhubarb but throw it up in the air and swing to chop the leaves off? And that knife went straight into my foot. And I mean,
I bet she took your lawn darts away from you after that too.
Yeah, I don't think I got sent out with a butcher knife anymore after that.
Your mom believed in natural selection as well.
Yeah, for sure.
When you showed back up at the house, she's like, "Shit."
Well, and yeah, I still remember. I went back to the house, and I yelled, "I need toilet paper and duct tape."
That's right. And Copenhagen.
Yeah, and Copenhagen for sure.
Oh man.
Sweet. Well, right on.
Polar nights again. If you can't use a med kit, my advice: don't go hunting. Come on now, live a little. Where's your sense of adventure here?
That's right. He says, advise NR2 of your buddy, can't shoot for shit. Stay behind him of all times. Yeah. Advice number 2. Your buddy can't shoot for shit. What's the saying? If a bear is chasing you, you don't got to outrun the bear. You just got to outrun your buddy.
That's right. Yeah. Wing him.
Wing him. Yeah. God forbid he has a Cash Tactical custom kit on him. He might be able to make it out of there.
Yeah.
Hey, do you put on Stop the Bleed courses? Is that part of some of the stuff that you?
Yeah, we do have an instructor that does Stop the Bleed courses for us, and
that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it's a very good program, and I mean, some of this stuff isn't that complicated. It's a pretty basic procedure, but you don't realize it until you've actually taken this course, and if you don't have any other medical training, you don't realize how important that pressure is to stop that bleeding. So
it's amazing how much gauze will fit into a wound.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. You don't realize how tightly you can pack it. But
right on. Well, on that note, I think we've hammered that point home. Right on. So we talked about what lies ahead. Anything else you wanted to add, Aaron?
I think we've covered things off fairly good. I really appreciate that you got me on here to be able to discuss the
it was long overdue for sure.
It's been I know you talked to me back in February, and just you know how life gets in the way. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Long overdue to support a local business. That's
right.
Pretty damn important in the community.
That's
I think,
right.
anyway.
And to get the message out there that you do exist, and there are other options besides Cabela's and wherever else people are going. Right? It's it's good to go. So where can people find you, Aaron?
So we're in Regina. We're in the Warehouse District at 2110 7th Avenue. We also do have a complete web store. The majority of our product is available online, and that is at www.cashtactical.ca. Cash spelled CACHE, and we have. Like I'd say, probably 90% of our product is on the website, and with the goal of getting everything on there, so that we do have the opportunity to move product to anyone who needs it across the country.
Nice.
There you go.
Excellent.
And do you have any social media?
Yes, we are on Instagram. The username is Cash Tactical. We're on, it's facebook.com/Cash Tactical. Those are the two main that we do use on a regular basis, and we try to interact as best as we can with our customers through those platforms, and show the products that we are able to carry, and the services we're able to offer.
Awesome.
Good,
Right
good.
on. Do you have any special shout outs you wanted to get out there to the internets? Put you on the spot now. I didn't tell you.
Yeah, you are putting me on the spot. Well, I do want to mention the fact that we've had a lot of growth and a lot of success in the last year or two, but we certainly couldn't do it without the support of everybody that are walking through the door, that are giving us suggestions. Hey, we'd really like to see you carry this product or that product, and so we're really thankful for everyone local to Regina, and like I said, across the country, that have supported us, especially through this difficult pandemic time. It's been a hard time for small businesses, but we really have noticed a growth in the number of people that are wanting to preferentially support a small business over a foreign big box.
Good.
And it's very humbling to get phone calls from across the country and asking for advice and products that we carry, because like I said, I got the keys to the store March 1st of 2017. I walked in there, and we started right from scratch. We had nobody knew about what my plans were and how I wanted to build this dream of a business, and we've come a long ways, and so yeah, it's been quite the journey.
Good for you.
Right
man.
on. That
Sounds like you dove in deep, anyways, and it's
No
panning
kidding.
out. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Look at that smile.
That's right.
All right.
Awesome. Well, Kurt, why don't you pay some more bills here?
Yeah, sure. ScoutVid is an interactive platform for youth of all ages to showcase their talent. From profiles to highlight reels, we put you front and center in the hockey world. Whether you're just getting into hockey or looking to make an impression on a junior club, ScoutVid gives you the tools to get noticed. Welcome to the show. Find them on Facebook, Instagram, and their website at scoutvid.com.
Yes, sir. Awesome. Well, shout out to Aaron for finally coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you have any shout outs this week, Kurt?
Bullseye North again. I just got the Frankfurt Arsenal IntelliDropper that I used for the first time last night. And it you know what? It changes my game a little bit. I've been using the old Hornady manual drop, or whatever you want to call it, dispenser, thrower, powder thrower for, oh my God. Holy geez, it might be like 20 years. Not that I had much complaint about it, but man, it is faster. I'm telling you, it's.
It changes your life.
It's a bit dreamy for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Right on. Well, that was my shout out too, is to Aaron at in the crew at Bullseye North. And they're working hard, and they've been supplying us with a lot of product. And thank you very much. We appreciate it. And
You betcha.
we want to continue to support the show. So they continue to support the show, and
we continue to consume.
Yeah, that's right. So, awesome. And on top of that, I want to give a thank you to all our sponsors. Without the sponsors, we wouldn't have a show. That includes Shane and Steve at EM Precision, Miles Carey Cappy at Callsign 66, Duncan and Rob at Bolt Action Coffee, Doug and Niza from March Scopes.
Yes,
they hooked us up with those scopes.
absolutely. Yeah.
And Scoutfit, it makes a world of difference to us, especially helping out on a passion project like this.
It sure does. Yeah.
Yeah. So appreciate it, guys. Well, hell of a show. I appreciate Aaron coming on, and Kurt, good to see your smiling face again. It's been too long. So
Yeah.
we'll call it a show, guys. Appreciate it. Check us out at first facebook.com/FFP podcast or our website, ffpp.ca. Leave us a review. Let us know how we're doing, because how else can we get better? And you can email questions to info@ffpp.ca as well. I haven't seen any come through for a while. So if you guys have reloading questions or gear questions, or if you want to know Aaron's social security number, let us know. We'll ask him, and we'll go from there. So right on. Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. And as always, we will see you next week.
Bueno.
Thank you.
Wait, maybe I should get the outro prep before I do that.
Oh, well. Small things.
That's
Small things.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you next
See you,
week.
folks.
Good night.